Now I would like everybody raise your hand. Who else have joined today? Just raise your hand. Like on the virtually, like on the there's an icon for raising an hand. So just raise your hands. Who have joined today? Three, four. So there are. So did anyone go through yesterday's video on YouTube? Like all those who have joined today, did anyone of you go through the YouTube videos we uploaded yesterday? You can write out that in the comment section. If they have gone through the video or if they have installed Python, because today we will start programming, so you would be like, it's necessary that you have Python installed on your system. Guys, please respond on the chat so that we can start from today. Okay. uh, Kindly to install it. I will share the link now and just install it. And if you have any doubt, then go through the yesterday's video. I will share the link in the chat again for everyone. Okay, so I will present my screen now, and those who have any to just go through the video we uploaded yesterday. Amit, is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keshav, change the layout of the screen.
Right.
Yeah, increase the size also. Yeah. Okay.
Now it's fine now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, increase a little bit size, Keshav.
I will make it. I will make the slide show.
Yeah. No. Do not increase that one. Increase that presentation size. Right. Yeah. Not more. Just a little bit small. Yeah, we will go today, Victor. Not more, but yeah, little bit. And I have sent it a link of YouTube channel in which we have uploaded a video. Please go to that video. Okay.
Amit, it's perfect now.
Yeah, that's it. And Keshav, I think from the sprint we have got one thing like first we implement with that the Python VS Code. All code will implement in the VS and then a little bit change with the command prompt also. Can you open the command prompt as well as the VS Code? And yesterday Khalid have some little bit issue with that installation and some where it is not working. Khalid, if you are listening this one, you have not installed yet the Python, or if you have installed the Python, you have didn't pass the path. That's why I'm telling in the previous session. If you are facing the problem with command prompt and didn't get the Python and pip, directly copy the path and paste it over there. But I'm checking that thing, but my keyboard is not working. That's why I'm not get that thing. Yeah.
So let's start with today's. Amit, let's start today.
Yeah. Basically, let's start with the comment session. Okay, what is comment? Why will do using the comment? Comment and literals are normal way. Like in comments, basically we are commented out. Like over here, if we are writing something, and like take an example of the Facebook and Insta, you commented some things, and when you are commented over there, that gives some response. So like that, coder also give us a comment in the code so he or she can easily get the whole things. So like over here, there's an example. Postgraduate program is a artificial intelligence machine learning. So he was giving one line command that it defined that below that this line, everything which you're returning is come up to towards that ML or AI. Sound repo is there. Bishop, can you mute yourself?
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Next. Oh, is it fine, guys? Isha, is it okay? Hello.
Yes, it's fine. Your voice is not okay.
Okay, so mute yourself. Yeah. Mute it, Keshav. It's coming from your side. The voice is little bit coming from your side. Yeah, let's come to the uh, comments. Okay, so when we are write something, we also want some comments to identify what type of module we are training. And after this line, which type of module, which type of things is gonna over there, gone over there. Okay, so Keshav, copy this one and paste it into the Visual Studio Code. And basically, when you open your Visual Studio Code, you directly go to the file, okay, and made a new file and save with .py. Take any name and use .py, so .py, sir, .py, and that time it shows that that extension is giving to the Python. .py is giving the extension. It will extract everything and every file which is needed necessary to the Python. Okay, so yeah, okay. So after file name, you have written the Keshav has written the file name. So can you increase the size of your Visual Studio Code again? Control plus, yeah. So over here, and yeah, Keshav mark also when I'm telling something. So mark that place where I'm telling right now. The file name which you are written over here. Keshav, mute yourself. Now is it fine? No, actually we are not nearby. Okay, I think now this is fine. So yeah, in the okay. So in file name, you have write your name, which type of file name you want in the file, and then your .py. And over here, let's write hash. Okay, so hash define that it's everything which you are returning after this, it will show as like as a comment, but only for one line. Like if I am writing that hi, yeah, hello everyone, yeah, hello, this is comment. Okay, and again the line if someone writes something, now it's not giving that this line is as a comment because you are using hash, and hash only give you the one line, the whole line as a comment, not more than that. So if you guys want to comment a more line, you can use triple, let me say that, yeah, triple colon over there, if you write something in one line like hi, yeah, over here this is a, yeah, multi lines, and if you write anything it sounds like as a comment. So you can use this thing for a multiple line purpose, but if you want to comment some specific line, so you will use hash. I think this on like write this Keshav over here, write print hello world is also the body. Yeah, we write a print hello world. We are writing right now, but we use hello word over here, and if we run this code, it will show you normally in the right top corner is a run function, or otherwise you can run with the command prompt also with the help of command prompt. Khalid, do you have any query? So in the top rightmost corner, you can also play with directly, and in the command prompt, you write first Python and the file name which you are using. Okay, Keshav, first of all, use Python. Go to the Python library first. Not for go to desktop and directly use Python. Yeah, now it's working. Python and the address of that file. So guys, when you are using this one, it will printing only hello world. He was commenting all of the lines which we have written above that, because we are using the command, sorry, comment a function over there, and the comment function is helping you to comment out that it's only shown to the user. No, it is only shown to the user which is written the code, or which is the coder. But when it's come to the output what time, it will show only that command which is formed for the user, not for the coder. So this will help you in a future purpose, because when you write some a big line of number of codes, it helps you to comment out some specific module which you are made for a specific particular thing. Like if you have made 10 modules, and the 10 modules, there's a one module which is giving you some error, and you want to change some code and some line of things in that same module. So if you comment out first that all are correct, so you will only comment this has error. So that's mean when when you checking this code again, you get directly the error is going over which line of code or which type of modules. So when you are deal with this type of situation, you directly use the comment. So you directly got everything. I think this is clear to everyone. Guys, if you have any query regarding comment, why we use comment, and how we can deal with that, you can comment it out, right, or you can ask by raising your hand.
Hi guys, this is Rajesh.
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, I just need to know the very basic thing, like how do you start to write a program in this editor? Actually, why? Because when I open my editor, it says I just want to know how to start it, how to write the very basic thing. When I open my Visual Studio Code, actually there is a blank page which has some edit menu like file edit selection, something like that. I don't know how to just open it and type in code from there. Actually, can you please do me a demo on that?
Okay. Uh, yeah. So, Keshav, you have a different version for the studio code, so you can install right now. Otherwise, yeah, like this. You have, I think your laptop is giving you this type of things.
Exactly, I get the same type of thing. Select a
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Go to the
Yeah,
file, click on
cool.
the new file,
Okay.
and then again the folder is coming, and save it by the name which you want, but use the extension .py.
Okay, straight away I can just go ahead and save as in the first level, and I can do it in the desktop also, so that it will compile from there.
Yeah,
Cool. So py is the extension for
yeah,
any type of file for the Python.
yeah.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, actually, next generation, I don't know your name, but yeah, I point out to that right now that you are asking that you are not familiar with the Visual Studio Code, but we are not trying to give the everything in the Visual Studio Code. It is a general thing for the Python. When you're commenting somewhere, when you want to comment something, you can use in the your ID also. Like Keshav, can you open the ID? Okay, this is the ID for the Python. We also run this thing over here also. Like if we made a new file again, yeah. Keshav, can you increase the size? You can directly use control plus over here also. Is it working?
The file size is not increasing.
Okay, yeah, you can use like go to the format. Okay, in format, yeah, format paragraph. Yeah, I do. Yeah, the option of can increase it from there. Increase the size. 120. Yeah, okay, that's good. Now it's visible, I think. So in this one also, Keshav, you write to comment something in the comment and then save it. And save out. Open this. Okay, so demo.py is the example of the file which we have written, and we are also using the same thing which we are doing in the Visual Studio Code. So the everything which we are right now telling you, this is for the Python, not for the Visual Studio Code. Okay, check this one. We write in the comment in the one line, and right now it's giving you not giving any output. It's showing you this is an example in IDL, but it's not showing you the for the user. So coder literally gives any comment over there for their purpose, how they can deal with the module, or if some error and something they want to change over there. Like if Keshav is a coder and Keshav like type 10 modules of code, and he was giving me that code and telling that there is an issue in this type of module, or not saying that this type of module, he was saying that there is some error. He was commented every module with particular and specific lines, so I easily get where the error is. But if he didn't that thing, I little bit gonna confuse over there. So it basically has the user to interact easily, or like coder with coder, or coder with the machine also. I think everyone got this one, or you have some issue regarding this comment, but particular comment. So can you please repeat it? Okay, समझ नहीं आया. Okay, let's make one line move forward, and then I will tell you that why we are using comment. Okay, Sartha, can you unmute yourself, and I will ask a few questions, and you can answer me, and then you will, I think, directly get the whole purpose of comment. Sartha, yeah, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sartha. In the Facebook and in Instagram, if you start seeing any post, you write some comment. Why you're writing comment over there?
Sir, means
Like if I am posting a content in the Instagram or in Facebook in any social media platform, I think there is an option for the comment.
okay.
Many are commenting over there, and some are seeing only. But what is the advantage of comment option? Why we comment over there? We directly see and remove that thing. Why I will comment for a particular thing?
We giving a compliment like things.
That's the thing. So same like that, we are using the comment, the code. So the user which you are coding over there, like if I am coder, I write one code and I want to give it to you. So to explain you a better way, where this line of code is coming and what is this is a what's the functionality of that code, particular code we commented over. Got it?
Then what is the meaning? Like you write here that hi, this is comment and then hashtag line two. Then
Yeah. Yeah.
what's the
Let's
mean
take one
that?
example. Keshav, remove the upper one of that and commented one line that we are using print statement to display the hello world. Okay, over here, Sarthak, we use comment to display that we are using print statement to display hello world. That's mean now in the code where the print statement you saw that displays the hello world in this line. Okay, in normal file, but
Okay,
it's
okay.
didn't
But
compile.
hashtag means that we are commenting something,
Yeah, we are commenting.
and print
Yes,
and print means it
we are
displaying
displaying
that word,
something. Yeah,
displaying
but
something.
you
Okay,
want to
okay,
display to the
got
user.
it. Okay,
Okay.
okay, got it, got it.
Any other issues, you guys accepted this? Okay. Come to the literal constant. Any number of character are set, a normal thing which you are written without using of that variable and anything in the code. Like Eureka and two is we are written over there. It didn't display, it didn't do anything, but it is written over there. Some comments, some variables is like we are testing for that, but in the advanced version we will use that. Like Keshav, can you put it here in examples? Yeah, this normally two dot two comma in the in the quotes. Here is the Eureka. Copy this one and paste it to the code and run the code. And the code. Okay, it didn't display something after running the whole code. But why? So when you are declaring something and you're not using a particular thing in the file and the code, it like a way it is a waste thing which only the coder will get it, not the user. It's also work as a command, but command something different. But you can use the literature as a variable in the future purpose. You can use this one, but in the command you didn't use that. And a literal is a collection of a character or set of something which you can define after the definition of any code or somewhere. When do we use multi-line of comments? Give an example. Okay, so like for the multi-line of comments, if we define the whole, if there's a number line of code, and if you want to define a more things in a particular way, like in function name is given, yeah, printing is there, print a name, okay, and in the above define the. So right here, you can comment the whole thing. If like for example, if we have 10 modules, Keshav, can you make 4 to 5 modules? We define the 4 to 5 modules in the function. We'll tell you what is the function, but right now is take like as a normal example and think about that if one function is defining a name, another function is defining an age, and there is an error between name and age, and you want to like remove the whole thing from the code, but you want that you don't want to work with that. Like again, you didn't want to write something again. So when you comment any module, the compiler and the interpreter which you are using, they are didn't compile this thing. So you can comment out this one, and the whole process remove the this line of particular code. So in the different type of modules, it's 4 to 5 modules giving me error. You can comment the whole one. Okay. So after that, when you comment the whole one, that whole thing is gonna remove for the compiler, not for the coder, and it really helpful over there. I think Pankaj, you got it. This one. Yeah, in the Visual Studio Code, you can use different things. Like Keshav, can you open the Visual Studio Code again? Okay. So in this Visual Studio Code, there are many shortcut key. Keshav, write anything which you want the code, anything, a name and anything you want. Yeah. Give one and two, three spaces, and then enter, enter and give some other names. Again enter, give some other names. Again enter and give some names. Okay. We want to like comment out all of this. So what will we do? Control plus A, okay, and then control plus C, and then control plus C plus K. Yeah, K and C. Okay, the whole thing gonna convert it into comment by only clicking, selecting all the one and use control K C. So this is the advantage in Visual Code where you will got this type of extension which basically help you to comment out the whole line in one time. Yeah, next generation we will move over there. First, we
Oh,
define how the variable will work. Yeah, Rajesh.
actually, yeah. How to revert it back? Actually, for an instance, as you told, for a temporary reason, I am just making a function as an comment actually for
Yeah, yeah,
testing purpose.
yeah.
So, what is the option in case if I choose this option like shortcut? What is the option to revert it back to the same compiling option actually?
Yeah.
Taking off from the commenting actually.
Yeah. Do one thing. Keshav, click on where you want to remove something, multiple thing. Yeah, adding some multiple things. Normally, first of all, click over there where you want to, and then press Alt, and then again move your cursor where you want to again remove. Like Keshav, can you click on the fourth? Yeah, and click on the Alt, and then again click on third where you want to remove, and directly use the backspace. The whole thing you're gonna remove at the same time.
So
Multi lines are just.
backspace is the option to take off those things actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah. Okay. And can you repeat again what is the price? Yeah. Control plus A. Control plus C plus K. Yeah. Keshav, can you write out over here? Yeah. Right over here. Control plus A. CTR plus A. Uh, then CTR plus C plus K. Guys, this is the option when you want to comment a multiple line of codes in one time. Keshav using this one again. Yeah. He was doing like control all and then. And Rajesh, one thing more, like if you want to remove this whole thing, and you can use the control plus Z also, like undo, redo and undo point.
But that will just go up only one step back, isn't it?
No, you can use 20 times that.
Okay. Okay. But that is like a undo option, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that will take off the things which has been done after that. So it will go step by step at the reverse actually. So if
Yeah,
I'm not
you
wrong.
can. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so come to the PPT part, Keshav, again. Let me explain what is variable. Guys, if you have query for this one, the shortcut key, then you can ask right now. Yeah, main thing that I forgot about that. Uh, Many are using mobile right now, and they were asking that how you can deal with the mobile also. Keshav, can you open the browser? In the browser, in the Google give you a little bit a good command. Not Play Store, not Play Store right now. You can use a framework from which given by the Google, and you can use collab. That's a collab. Click on collab. The first link. Keshav, can you increase the size also? There's, I think, size is decreasing. Control plus. So over here, you can use a welcome in this one. And if you want to make your files, you can use the file button. Click on the file button and make a new file, a new notebook. And the whole data is automatically saved in your drive. You can access the data after the running that code. It automatically saved in the Google Drive. Like if you are opening the font, the same font point of view, it will show you this thing, and you can write anything over here. Like use print hello world to display some data. Okay, over the left hand side, this is a plus the play button. Like it will help you to run the code. And yeah, it didn't take your RAM. It didn't take some like something in from your mobile. You can change according to the your user use, because Google is providing you this type of platform. It only take a normal net internet. When you open this the collab, over here there's an option. There is an option which is saying that come connect. Click on the connect, and then you can use this one. Keshav, copy paste it on the comment. Let me join with my mobile and tell me how you can deal with that. Guys, let me share my screen and tell you how you can. Can you stop the sharing the screen? Is it my screen is visible? Keshav?
Yes, Amit.
Yeah. So normally go to the Chrome. Okay. In Chrome, you open a new tab. Type Colab. Okay, right now it's directly converted the whole thing into my Drive link. But yeah. From here, normal Colab. Google and over here, welcome to collaboratives. That means Colab is giving the Google is giving you platform. Click over there. After opening this, you have a listen file and you can make your new notebook. I will create a new notebook. I take over there. In the top of the this one, you got a file. Click on the file. Click on new notebook, and the whole notebook I am creating it directly save in your drive. Take some like a bit time. Network error, loading error. Yeah. Now it's fine. I will use error. Drive is on error. Let me open this now file. Okay, after the like getting a new file or opening a file, like I'm returning over here this kind of code. Let's remove this first, and I will play like print. Yeah, But before using this one, click on this one, the connected. So when you click on the connect, it will take not more than a few seconds. But when it's gonna connect it with the Google, it will give you RAM and disk according to Google, not with your mobile and some devices. So directly what you will use print. Print. There's some little bit difficulty with typing the font, but yeah, if you have code, you can copy paste over there. Okay, so I'm writing this one, and yeah, it's showing me output. Okay, guys, those who are using a mobile, they have a real laptop. They didn't use a laptop right now, or and anywhere you can compile from over here also. Any type of code, like if you train with for a higher level of coding, at the same time that give you a more diverse, because over here Google is giving you a space and it automatically saved in your drive. You can access in any time you can access this. Which you can share your screen. Let's move forward, guys. I think we got how you can deal with the collab. Anyone have any issue regarding this, you can ask right now. Yeah, it is not for normal mobile user also. You can use in the desktop also, but yeah, for the mobile, this is a good platform. Very good. Okay, come to the variable. Guys, can anyone tell me a normal English meaning of variable? Anyone? Rajesh, Sarthak, like Rajesh or more active and new generation and the Pankaj. Anyone tell me the real definition of variable? Like in normal in English, but we say that if we say the variable, what thing is come first in your mind?
Okay, so variable is that thing which stores value,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Actually,
So in
as per the
norm,
name, variable is something which is so dynamic. It is not going to be static. Even it can be vary depending upon the program executes. Actually, it can be a static data, or it can be even an executable data, which will be stored into one place. Actually, something like that.
yeah. So basically, you all say right, and basically variable is like a normal container in where you can store some static data or some dynamic data. It's depend on the code how you can deal with that, and it can convert it their data in static and dynamic also. Okay, so same over here, the Python itself, the variable is also using this thing, this purpose. But yeah, there is some difference, a large difference between Python and other languages. What is the main difference is that every language using the variable as a static, and anything which converted the whole data in a static format. But in Python, it directly say that this thing is a normal dynamic thing. Dynamic thing basically means that when you are compiling any code and a line number of code, some changes going to happen in any file of the any code or any module in the whole file. It directly affects every file without any calling. If you're using this thing in another variable, it actually shows you some different things. So let's take one example from the Visual Studio Code. And over here, we use a is equal to 10. That means we are defining a is a variable. Keshav, over top of that, can you comment online that a is a variable, a is a container. So like this, we are use the comment lines. It's really helpful to you to if you are new users for the Python and other things. Okay, so a is a 10, and why I'm telling that a is a dynamic thing. Keshav, over here, use A is equal to double dots paradox. Double dots in the paradox, yeah. Okay. And before that, can you print this one? Yeah, before that also. Okay. Right now in the code, we are defining A is a container. Keshav, wait a minute. Yeah. Come to code first. Do this. Yeah. Right now, A is A is equal to 10. We are defining A is a container which where you're storing some data. As Rajesh said that it didn't depend upon the like data type, like somewhere when you are using the static or some dynamic things store somewhere. That's the same thing coming over the Python. In the first line, we use A is equal to 10. In the container, we give the 10 is the data. But in other language, first we define the variable, which type of data you want. But over here in the Python, we didn't use any keywords to define the variable. It directly changed the data type. So there's the main difference in Python and other languages that they directly catch the whole thing in the compiling time, whether this container gonna convert it into a static or a dynamic. Or normally we say that only int where like a character or a string and an array. It directly manipulate themselves because Python is a dynamically workable function. So over here, when we run the code, A is equal to 10. Okay. Right now, the value of A is 10. Keshav, print type of A. Okay. The type of A function is using to define which type of variable or which type of function is this. I think type of A does not look like this, Keshav. Type down, like Keshav, can you use type, normal type? Yeah. In the second line also, Keshav, use type. So over here, right now we're printing the type of A, which type. Okay. So when you're using print statement, now Keshav run the code and see the output. First of all, it defines that A is a integer type, integer data type. That means it have collection in the container. We have a collection of integer, the number, the numeric values. And again, when we saw the same variable, it shows the string format. They are storing characters, number of characters. So if you are using this type of things in any other languages, first of all, you define that which type of particular character, particular things you want to store in the that container. But in the Python itself, they can automatically change themselves. Have you got everything, guys? Shall I will repeat this again? Where you have a doubt, you can ask it.
Sir,
Yes, Arthur.
okay. So in the first line we have defined the A is a function,
Here is
is
a
a
container.
container,
Yeah.
is a container. Then in the second module we give the value.
Yeah, we pass the value in that container to store a data.
And then in the fourth module print the type A, and here A is a function.
No, we define print type. Type is a function which define the which type of like function is using by the function the character A. Normally variable A, which type of function is using.
Then what is paradox here?
Yeah, over here the same things. I'm telling you that in the another language. If you did you know about C or C++ or any language?
Yeah, web languages, C++ language.
Yeah, and
That.
C is not a web language, it's a programming language. Yeah, you know about C language. So over there, you use a data type first. Int A is equal to 10. When you're passing the integer data in the A variable, you have to declare that which type of data it will take, which type of value the container will save. But over here, you are not defining this thing. this is a good advantage from the Python libraries. It directly converted the whole thing according to the user views. Okay. So we have take two variable in a one container, which define you that the Python is directly converted the whole variable or the whole container according to the value change. You didn't want to define that first, that if you are using the same command in the C++, you write int a is equal to 10, then print a. And again in the other line, you use int a is equal, not int a, this is that what you will write char a is equal to this, or string you converted it into array and then put it that paragraph and then print it. Is it? I think if you know about the C normally, you are using this type of things or data types. Sarthak, have you got this one?
Okay.
Or you have any query you can ask? Not a big issue.
Hello.
Yeah, Raj.
Uh, so you are using the type function for variating integer and strings, the combination of two two types. Okay.
Yeah,
So it runs the actual types together, right?
yeah. Defining that the which type of things is storing the type of variables or container.
So it runs the what is the actual variable it store in that container, right?
Yeah,
Okay, right. Thanks.
yeah. Let's move forward, Keshav. I think everyone have. Okay, Keshav, let's define this all the variable things from your side.
So I hope till now you know what variables are. Let's continue from there. So variables are reserved memory locations to store values. So if we go and print id of a, it will return the exact position in the memory where that particular value has of a has been stored in the RAM. Over here, when we talk about memory locations, we talk about RAM because whatever uh, functions you're running, let's say I am running a program, so that program will be first given to the RAM so that it can execute. So when we print the id a, it will return the location in which a has been saved in our memory. So if I go and let's replace id of a, okay, and let's go and print it again. So see, this returns me the id where this particular a variable has been stored. Okay, let's do the same with this too. See, the ID changed because the variable, we reassigned the variable. Okay, we reassigned the variable, so the variable ID also changed. Uh, if anybody has doubt regarding the ID, then we will move forward. What the ID function does.
Actually, in the, can you just go to the screen that you have shown before? Yeah, in the first level, the A location of ID A is a different one.
Yeah.
And after that, the second position is ID A is different because as the second variable is something like a characters.
Yeah, it also depends on the size of the array because see, integer takes four bytes. Okay, while string doesn't take, it takes around 8 bytes of memory.
If in case, if on a chance like the second variable like a is also going to have the same type of a variable like an variable type like a string, instead of string, if it is going to be like a number again, will it
change?
Okay, it will change again
Because we change the value inside, right? So we have to, the memory, what does it do? It replaces that the particular file location with the new value. Now it removes it from that particular location and gives it a different ID.
Okay, so up to if in case if you are running a program with the same variable name like a,
yeah,
and if it has been defined now and then, will it follow the last variable declaration, or it will take to the first level? Can you get my point? What I'm asking. See, at
You-
the second stage, you have assigned the a value as 10,
Yeah, in the first stage.
first stage, and at the fifth stage, you have assigned the value of a is 16.
Yeah.
So when I am executing the program at the level of 10 to 15th line, what will be the last day value of a? If in case if
16.
I'm the
16.
16 will be the last
Yeah.
value.
Yeah,
So it,
whatever we have done before, exactly before where we are using it. Let's say I wanted to, over here, as you can see in this statement in the line 3, we printed the ID of A, which took
okay,
the value of A equal to 10 because it
okay,
was just before that statement, right?
yeah,
Even if I do like over here, I give 10 spaces also, if it's B equals to 16, okay,
okay,
then it will return me A is equals to 16 only.
okay,
So whatever value we have given it to the last time at the at the least, okay,
okay,
it will give return me the value only.
okay.
So I hope let's move forward now.
Yeah, wait a minute, Keshav.
Yeah.
There's one query. A is equal to Python. Okay, the string format. B is equal to Python, and what will be the memory location? Okay, they have a different memory location. They didn't take one variable, like they didn't give you location according to the your name or your data. It gives you the location according to the variable, because Python is dynamic. If it is in the static, that they have a same location for every variable and every data. Like if A is equal to 10, and if you are using A is anywhere, then it replaces the data from that side, and but the address is same in the static one. But right now we are dealing with the dynamic, so it directly change, because dynamic is something like that. When you want to use it, create automatically, and if you destroy, then it destroy the same time. If you are not using this thing, it gonna destroy. So again, creating this one, it will show you the different type of IDs. And then yeah.
So Dipti, did you get it? Like memory location is same.
I didn't get this point actually. Since A is a different variable name, which is
Yeah.
reflecting a different content. B is
No,
also a
see,
different.
they are reflecting the same content. That's Python and Python.
Okay.
So as I like Python is Python, we say that it's dynamic. The reason for it being dynamic is this.
So if it is holding a variable content, if it will check with the variable content what it is exactly. So if it is the
Yeah,
same content, it will
it
allocate
will yeah.
in the same
Just
memory.
just you are just making a copy of it as B. So over here when we give A equals to Python, okay, so it is reflected in B also, like indirectly it's reflecting in B2, right? Because the content is same.
Oh, okay.
We can check now if A is equal to B over, right?
Yeah.
Because A is also Python and B is also Python.
So it is equal now. So both the content are same. So it will
So
store it in the
the
same location.
that helps in like reducing the memory size, na?
Ah, cool.
Because if we have like 10,000 data of the same kind or having the same value, we have 10,000 variables having the same value.
Okay.
Okay, so the our memory will be flooded now, because 10,000 storing 10,000 variables individually on your RAM is not a really good habit, right? It will like slow down your PC.
That's news actually. It's first time I'm just getting this type of a thing.
Keshav, the code, can you run again the code?
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
it's gonna change.
Because we executed the code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after every execution, the placement changes because see, the execution stopped. The memory of Python running on the RAM is
Yeah.
removed.
Yeah,
So
just right.
automatically, the data variables that are stored on the RAM is also removed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
every time we run a program, a new data location will be given,
Good.
depending on the values and the type of data. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear,
Hello?
Dipti? Yeah.
So you're using ID in print section. It is only for the purpose of to display the memory location.
Memory location. That's it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. let's move. I hope everybody understood what is the ID built-in function. Now let's
Yes.
go. Okay, who's?
Rajesh.
Sorry?
Do you have any
You are
doubt? Like,
No. We can go forward. Actually, I'm clear with that.
so now let's move forward to how do we read input that are given to us from the keyboards. Okay. So I have shown you how to exit out, like how to print. Now let's go and write some codes for inputting variables. So let's say I want a name. Okay. So I will let input, and let's say I want something to print before I give the input. Let's say enter your name. Okay. And the same thing I will do when I enter your age. Let's say age is input, enter your age. See over here, what does Python do? Python, whenever we run the function I input, whatever you given over here, it will take as string. Okay, but age is a whole number. It's an integer, so we have to typecast it. So for typecasting a variable, okay, first let me show you what this will give. Okay, so print name and then print age. So now let's run the program. So enter your name. Keshav, age 21. See, it gave me output like this. Okay, now since 21 is a integer as we know, okay, but let's say I want to add a number to age. I want age is equal to age plus 5. Okay, now let's move. See, it gives me an error. Must be string, not integer. So the plus function over here, 5 is an integer, but our age over here, it is a string. So this implies that whenever we give an input to this input command statement, it takes the value as string. Okay, so now we need to typecast the age. So we will write int, and then we will uh, put this inside the function. Now let's run this particular program again, and now it's Keshav and 21, and see it will give me the output as 26 because it added 5 years uh, to my age. So is input statement clear? How can we take input?
Keshav, can you comment it out the every line with some particular comments like name is what type of things is using or input, what things it will getting from there. Yeah, I think hope so. Guys have one question regarding the typecasting also. Let's explain the typecasting first.
Anybody has doubt? Is everybody getting this? Like how we typecast by just providing int in front of whatever input we are getting. This will return me an integer value. Let's say if I give this, okay, and I run the command, okay, and instead of age, I entered, let's say a characters, set of characters. See, it will give me a value error for int with base 10 because we entered JB and JB is not an integer. So it will also provide me an error.
Guys, have you got this one? No.
Yeah, Amit, you're audible.
Okay. Thanks. Sartha got this one.
Okay. Great.
Pankaj also get. Rajesh, did you get this thing?
I'm sorry. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. That's very cool.
So
Okay,
It
Keshav.
seems to be a tough student now.
Keshav, let's give some little bit example and about the data type.
So now let's start with data types. Okay, what are data types? See, there are two types of data that we generally use. It's one is immutable data types and the other is mutable data types. Coming to the first, immutable data types. Immutable meaning we cannot change the
Rishabh,
origin. Yeah.
let's take like a normal meaning of that immutable and mutable from the like students from our students. Let's take normal examples and normal definition from the of immutable and mutable, and then we'll tell according to this.
So guys, go ahead. Just give an example.
Guys, give like little bit like this difference between the mutable and immutable in normal English language. And what you are thinking about that? What is mutable and what is immutable?
Okay. Sarthak has commented changes.
Okay. What about other guys?
Is it something like straight data or a group of data?
No.
No, no, it's not.
I guess it will be like mutable can be changed and immutable can't be changed once we write.
Okay.
I guess.
That's like close.
Only two of them are giving the answer. What about you? The rest of you guys? Okay, this is immutable that can change during time and immutable that cannot change. Okay, only give another like other. What about the other guys? Victor, Raj.
Immutable data types cannot be modified, like in float. And, yeah, it's simple. Like mutable can be changed and immutable can't be changed.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can't do
Nice
modification in immutable, and vice versa.
Mutable data is change and immutable data is unable to change. Yeah, that's a definition for the mutable and immutable. Good.
Okay.
Good
So everybody
response.
over here was on the right track.
Can do different things.
Victor, can you
Didn't get.
elaborate? Yeah, can
Yeah.
you elaborate?
Okay, Chef, you can explain this.
So see, as everybody told, that mutable data is not changeable, while mutable data types are changeable. So exactly. So the numbers over here, those cannot change during runtime. Strings cannot be changed during runtime. Okay, we can only assign it a different value. Tuples, lists, tuples. So these three types of data types are under the immutable category, and they are unchangeable or they cannot be modified. While mutable data types such as lists, dictionary, and sets, they can be changed after getting assigned. Okay, so let's start with an example. See over here, immutable data types. So
Okay, Chef,
over
increase the size.
okay, wait. See over here, I gave a variable lang. Okay, I took a variable lang and give it a value Java. So we are printing the original value of the lang variable. That is over here. Now we are taking another variable lang, which is Python. Okay, and our ID after assigning the new value. See over here, both the addresses are different. The memory address is changed. Now let's come to the mutable data types. Okay, so for the value of mutable data objects, such as list. This is a list 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we will print the ID of this particular list. See, it's 1693. It's a continuous, and after appending, see, we use a function dot append to add another object to a particular list. So when we print the list, 5 is added to the last point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and When we print the ID again after appending, we will get the same ID. Okay. Now, previously when we were talking about ID function for a variable, everybody has a confusion. Now I hope everybody's confusion is clear. Because when we change any type of data, any data, okay, a new variable, a new location has to be stored. Can you give some simple example?
Yeah, Keshav, can you open the Visual Studio Code? Let's give
Okay,
one
wait.
simple examples.
See, for the previous example, a is equal to 10, and we are printing the ID of a. Okay, and we are again modifying a equal to 16 and print ID a. Okay, on running this particular function, we get two different IDs. Okay, so see, what does this mean? That a is equal to 10. Over here, the data is a equal to 10, and when we change the data did not get reflected in the particular address. Okay, it was deleted, and then a new address was created for that particular data. Did you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay, let's come to the immutable data types and define that whole data type with some certain particular examples. Okay, normally everyone know about the array, I think. Guys, if you know about the array, you can comment on the chat or you can unmute yourself and tell me what is array. Keshav, give one comment over the above the list. Give one comment above the list and tell it to the list. Okay, yeah. Group of content in the one variable in the area. A similar data type having a like collection in one variable or one container. That's for your array. So like that in the Python, we have array also, but we have a list, which is immutable over there, and you can expand at the same time running time. Sorry, that's a normally mutable. Okay, sorry, my fault. But yeah, when you are dealing with that, we have certain function which we use in the list, and we can store the data and we can remove the data from there. So like Keshav is using right now append. Append function helps you to append a data in the same list. Like for example, in the list we have giving 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's mean 1, 2, 3, 4 is a same data type, integer data type, and stored in the variable list. When he was printing, Keshav, can you normally print? Yeah, normal print, not print ID. Print a list. No.
It is already
Again,
printed.
before that. After the list, you can remove the ID. Above, no, not yeah, above one. Okay, so let's print the list, and after printing the list, it will displaying you 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not more than that. But when we use the function append, the same time one data which we have passed in append is directly shown in the list. That's the reason why we are so immutable. We can change the data, we can expand the data, we can remove the data, we can like cut out the split the data from a list or like mutable things which can be mutable at the same running time condition. So the append function is helping the list to append some data, and it only pass one data at a one time. If you want to pass 6 at the same line, you didn't pass. You didn't if you pass that one, it will show you error. Can you write this one also, like comma 6, the same line to append the data. Append stand for to like add data. So in this one, let's say that append take exactly one argument you have passed in 2. So only append take one variable to add it on that particular list or that particular container. Okay, so if you want to pass 6 also to that same container, you will print one line more, like list dot append 6. It will directly give that the whole container, whole variable in one container. Okay, Keshav, yeah, write one comment over there also. That append function, append helps you to insert a data in the same container. Another thing is that array is a collection of a similar data type, but you can enter any type of data in the list itself. You can pass string, you can pass character, you can pass integer, you can pass float. That's a dynamic thing. They can automatically module they collect this one. Can you repeat again about the append? Okay, so normally append is used to insert a particular thing which you pass in the append function and add it to that list. Yeah, it is added from that particular from the last of that. But if you want to like append, or if you want to insert with a particular position, you can use a push function, or we have a extend function also. So what the extend function does, like if you want to insert a number of variables in a one time in the same container, you can use the extend function. Okay, so we get a crest, we can, yeah, we are write some, yeah. Do not remove Keshav this one. Yeah, recommended, yeah. And now when you run the code, it will show you the whole data in one line, only using one code, the extend. Basically, extend help you to extend and give the whole data in one time. But in append, you can insert only single one. Okay, for the particular thing, the particular position, you can use push. Oh yeah, can you give it? Oh yeah, the position first and then the value. What do you want to pass? We are passing the inclusive post. Okay, let me wait. Is it push or
Amit, we will tell them about the list functions when we come to list.
okay?
Guys, we will explain what lists are, what dictionaries, what sets, what tuples are after this particular. Uh,
I forgot about that. That push function is not working over here. That insert function is there. Sorry, I
uh,
forgot this thing.
Pushes for
Yeah,
stacks.
yeah. Not actually. Pop is there for deleting and removing data. So yeah, you can. Let's complete that one. Yeah.
Let's go line by line. First, we'll talk about all the immutable types of data, and then when we will go to all the types of mutable data. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are the types of immutable data when we talk about numbers? So, numbers are like integer number, float number, complex number. So, most of us in class 12th we must have learned about complex numbers. So, Python also provides a base where we can store complex numbers. Okay, so let's go. And A is 10, B is 2.5. Okay, and C is equal to let's say 10 plus 5i. Okay, I think it will be in brackets. Actually, it's J. in our maths book we used to have 10 plus 5 I. Over here we will take it as j, and now we will print each of its type. Okay, so let's type A, C, and B. Now let's run and see. It gives me it's in for A is integer, B is float, and C is complex number. So these are the three types of data we can use in Python. Now let's move to string. Does anybody have doubt regarding numbers? Okay, Rajesh has said no. Anybody who has doubt? Okay, so now let's move on what are strings. So strings, as you know, is a set of characters, right? So over here we will talk about how to define characters of strings. Okay, let's say welcome to Edureka. We can use single quotes or we can use double quotes. We can also use a three single quotes or three double quotes convention that we use for uh,
Multi-line
commenting.
comment.
Yeah, multi-line comments. So let's say A is equal to one quote, single quote. Okay. B is double. C is equal to triple quotes. Okay. So triple double quotes. And D is equal to the triple single quotes. So see, when we type something over here and we do this, then it won't be giving us a string in different line. Okay, so that's why we use the convention for triple quotes. If you want a multi-line string to be given the output, that's why we use triple quotes. So if I do this, then it won't be showing me error, and it will be printing in the next line. Okay. So let me print it out. Print A. See, whatever I gave in the triple double quotes, it printed in different line because I pressed enter. So if you want some string to be given as output in different lines, then you can use the triple quote convention to define a string. Is strings clear to everybody? Okay, I've got some problem with syntax. So what kind of problems are there? You can please unmute yourself and tell.
Okay, writing it. Yeah, we will tell. We'll provide you notes, and after the session, you can stay over here, and we'll tell you how you can write syntax. You can proceed forward with tuples.
So today, let's talk about what are tuples. So tuple can have objects of different data types, unlike arrays. It is a collection of objects separated by comma enclosed with parenthesis. It is a kind of list only, but since we know that lists are are mutable, but when we talk about tuple, they are immutable. Okay, let me give an example. Is answer 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we can also store different kinds of data as we can store in lists. It's let's say Python, okay. And we will print it. Okay. See, it prints out like this. So what is the main difference between list and tuple is that these are immutable while the list can be modified, it can be modified, but the tuples, they are not, they cannot be modified. If you try to modify a tuple, then it will change the address, that is, it will give another memory location. Okay, uh, if I give a is equal to this, and if I again do a is equal to 1, 2 and 3, okay, and try printing it again with its id, we won't get the same address. Okay, so these are tuples. Tuple is a kind of list, but they are immutable. If you want to convert these kind of tuples into list, then you can use a function a is equal to list, and then pass the list at name, that is a. And now if we print a, then we will get a list. See, before it was coming in the form of parentheses, but now you will get it in the form of square brackets. See here. First, we will getting 1, 2, 3, 4 in parentheses. This was a tuple. Now we typecasted it into list. Now this list is mutable. We can change it, and the memory address will remain the same.
Okay, in the tuple itself, we have certain function. Like for example, if you want to count the length of the container, like how much data is there in the tuple, you can use len function, the length function, and you can count that what is the length of that overall tuple. Like in the first one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is there, 5 is there, 5, and over in the second one, we have 3. So when you print this one lan a, and again before that also Keshav, you can print before the, yeah.
See, before in the starting it had 5 values, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It had 5 values, but then we typecasted or changed it, uh, and we made it as 1, 2 and 3. Okay, let me comment it out and see. See over here. Over here we got 1, 2, 3, 4 and Python as fifth. So we got the length of the first tuple, then we change the tuple into 1, 2, 3, and then if we wanted the length, it is 3. It changed the length.
So basically we can concatenate the both tuple also. If we have two tuples, we can use a plus symbol to add that both tuples. Like if there's a b, yeah, if we can print a plus b, that's give you a combination of two tuples. Yeah, over here you saw that first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, the Python is a tuple which we stored in already in this that variable container a, and 1, 2, 3 is the second one which is belonging to b, and they both are combined in one and printed the whole value. You can use a plus symbol to add the whole tuples. So these are some functions which you can use in the tuple, like length, plus symbol, and you can use the type also, you can use the id also, and main thing is that you can normally convert by the typecasting, passing the function before that variable. Like actually Keshav has given the example, he has converted the tuple into a list. You can do like that also. Guys, if you have any problem regarding the immutable things, a number, yeah, string, or the tuple, you can ask right now, so we can clarify your doubts. Keshav, comment every line. Give us some particular comments where what you are doing. Like in A is your list, you are converting the whole list into whole tuple into a list, they can directly get that point. Okay, Rajesh and the other ones, have you got this thing?
Bit okay. Still, I'll just go through this again once you upload the video so that I can get it more clear.
Okay, but if you have any query right now, you can ask. Not a big problem. We can simplify the doubts. What about Raj, Victor, the other guys? Sarthak, Dipti.
I guess we have to first clear about the syntaxes that new words are coming like land, append, and other words. Then it will
Ah,
give me some problem
yeah,
in
we
writing
can
and
explain.
understanding it. Okay.
Okay. Keshav, let's explain the LAN and the other functions which we are using right now. LAN function, type function. Okay, so
So,
base, yeah, you can.
so over here, we are taking the length of tuple b. Okay. So over here, see, it's printing b length. It is printing b's length. That is 3. Let me first print b also with it. It's b. And run again. Okay, so see, the length function gives me the length of that particular tuple. When we gave it the input as a for the length function, it returned 5 because the elements inside a were 5. So whatever the number of elements are inside a tuple, the length function returns the elements of the length of the how many elements are inside it. Okay, what does the type do? The type function do? So print and type of a. Okay. So what will this print is it is class tuple. Now when we typecasted it into list, now let's print what would be the type of this particular tuple b. Let's print and see. First it was list and now it is typecasted into a first it was tuple and now it is typecasted into a list. Is it clear? Like how we can typecast it, what does the length function return, what does type give, what does the id give, why is tuple uh, why is tuple called an immutable list, immutable data type. Okay, now let's move to mutable data types.
So
Okay,
I think we will end up this one. So I think it's gonna late.
yeah, it got late.
So we will continue with tomorrow itself. So guys, those who are any query right now, you can ask, and other we can leave right. Sarthak, if you have an error with the syntax and something that you can ask right here, so we can continue with that and solve your problems.
Yeah, we will provide you the notes.
Yeah, we will provide the notes according to the after completing this some particular topics. We can tell you and give it to you also. And you can download from our website. We will upload it over there. Okay. Django is normally, yeah, we'll provide you a link. If you can provide the link, we'll upload it today itself. You can check it out after this. Yeah, but normally Django is a framework which help you to design your like web application, websites, and different things in REST APIs, which help you to normally implement in the like mobile apps and other thing also. That's normally called a backend part for the Python, which have a basic security and other things. Am I right, Keshav?
Yeah. Yes,
Yes,
Amit.
Amit.
And okay, Sarthak, you will get that in the documentation. And guys, the link for the notes will be provided to you on the WhatsApp group. Okay.
I hope so. I think they have clarified with their doubts. If you have any doubt, you can ask right now. But really, guys, the really good interactive sessions, and yeah, we're also enjoying to teach you these things. Am I right, Keshav?
Yeah, Amit, I'm like really liking people responding to what you are asking them.
Yeah, very cool session.
Guys, how do you feel the lectures are going? Like, is it boring? Are you getting? Are you understanding what we are trying to say?
Yeah, a little bit. I think you have gone a difficulty because you are not with that type of backgrounds. But yeah, we are trying to give you our 100%. How you will get the whole things. Yeah, Rajesh, did you say something?
No, actually, things are going good actually. But sometimes, like what to say, the last part of the session is like the data types. I think so that we have to make it bit more samples or something like that. If you just get some slides on a list of presentation, you can make out a bit samples even bit more clear, since that will be making us to understand bit more clear. Of course, right now, as of things going good and cool, I can understand things up to the level. But I don't know if anyone who is not having any background of any scripting, like no knowledge about any scripting languages like C or C++, I think it might be a bit tough for them to follow up. Might be they don't know what is a variable or what is a data type, something. So I don't know which such type of people will they be easy to follow up actually.
Okay,
So
we'll provide you for the next session. We will give you good examples and we will made a one PPT for you.
yeah, I don't want to keep on saying you things like this is not good, right? Like, since you people have taken a very great initiative on a no cost, and of course it's a very great service that you people do it right now. But still, whatever, since which pinged in my mind, I just popped it up.
Yeah, Rajesh,
Okay,
that's really
Rajesh.
good. That good feedback for us, and we will implement this thing.
And if it is not a wrong thing, I can even tell you one more thing. As you both the instructors are in a different locations,
Yeah.
it can be even you people can speak it into the front level. I mean, you can make it a bit more prepared in the prior to the class schedule, so that you can make it in a sorted way. So if one is speaking and another one can do the practical sessions on the screen, if that type of thing is, I think so that the coordination is bit in a glitch.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm making it in a wrong sense.
No, no,
I'm
No, no, no. It's
that's
fine. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. As it is an online session, well, of course, if one is speaking to a topic, if another one is not coordinating with that, it is not going to match it. So, of course, it's going cool in a right way, but I'm just asking you as a request.
Okay.
Okay, okay, Rajesh. We will take it.
Thank you, thank you.
Any other feedback, guys? You can, yeah, Jacket. Okay, she raised her hand and then she left. Okay. Any other feedback from you guys? And thank you, Rajesh, for giving this type of like feedback so we can implement this thing in a better way. Okay, let's end up this one, Keshav.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.